Hey guys, Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. You're joining us in video 2 of a 3-part series. If you missed our You Warm My Heart card, isn't that cute? Go and check out video number 1. It's linked in the description below. Today we're going to make this little instant coffee treat box. I am just loving the Warmest Heart bundle. Don't buy it as a bundle right now, it's on last chance list. And you can save 40% on both the stamps and the dies that we're using today. So here's our little treat box. It holds 2 of these instant coffee cups. You can find these in like the Nest Cafe or Folgers. I got these at the grocery store, and it holds 2 of these. And then in video number 3, we'll be making the coordinating notepad cover. We have an offer right now through the end of the year while supplies last, and the supplies are based on my little tiny pens. These are a little bit tricky to find. I'll give you some ideas of where to look for them, but I have a limited number of these little pens. All right, so that's what the supply is based on. This notepad cover is our video number 3. I hope you'll join us for this one next time. But if you place a $50 order using the host code that's on the screen, between now and December 31st, while supplies last, we will send you a packet to make the card, the treat box, the notepad cover. We'll include your instant coffee, your 3x3 sticky pad, and the pen as our thank you gift for you. We're doing our end of the year push, and so we need your help, and we're not above a bribe. We'll send you a class packet in the mail if you order with us. All right, so our little treat box here is fresh freesia, and it's 5 by 5 7/8. Let's get our simply scored tool, and we'll score this up. We are gonna start on the 5-inch side, and we'll score at 1/2, 7/8, 2 3/4, 3 1/8, and then we're going to rotate right. We're going to score at 3/8, 5, 5 3/8. Now let's work that with the bone folder. We'll trim it according to the template. All right, so you want to start with these 2 small score lines on your left side. This is 1/2 inch and then 3/8 of an inch, and you're going to cut out these top 2 little squares on this bottom little square first, and this 1/2 inch piece is your glue tab. So we're just going to make a nice angle and then cut off the score. Seam here, nice angle cut, and then cut off the score. Then we're going to liberate the tabs at the bottom, cut straight along the rectangle, and then angle on the square. That makes your little glue tabs, your tuck tabs, just a little bit less bulky around the corners of the box. That's why we do that. The straight on the rectangle is because that's the outer flaps. We want those straight, but the inner flaps, we can do that little angle, and that helps us remove the bulk at the corners. Now the next thing we're gonna do is cut down from the top 2 score lines. Go straight along the rectangle here, and then a little bit of an angle, and then remove this little trapezoid right here. Then we're gonna go 1 more score line, straight along the rectangle, at an angle on the score. Now the next cut is gonna go from the side here. You're gonna remove these 2 rectangles, just cut off the score. Stop when you get the intersecting score line, make a little bit of an angle cut, and remove this trapezoid. That is your treat box. Now we're gonna do a little bit of finishing. I've got my wheat arm. We're gonna add some rounded corners on our tuck tab. I'm gonna use the 1/4 inch side here, and that just makes it a little smooth. When you're opening and closing the box, it closes just a little bit more smoothly. And then we're going to bring our centering ruler back in here. I like to use the one on my Simply Scored tool. And we're just gonna find center in this last panel here. I have to mark center, otherwise I get some pretty wonky doodle thumb notches, but we're gonna put a little thumb notch so that it's easier to open the box. So we're marking center on that panel, just a little dot with the stylus. I just dent it. And then I've got a 1/2 inch circle punch here. And I'm gonna put that little dot in center and snip. Don't go too deep. You have a 1/2 inch tab. And if you go too deep, the tab won't completely cover the thumb notch. Ask me how I know. All right, now let's get some tear and tape adhesive, and we're gonna put the little box together. I'm going to put the tear and tape adhesive up against, close as you can to the score line on your glue tab. And then this is gonna be the front of our box. It's gonna open to the back side. So we're going to put the adhesive on the inside of the front tab. You can remove the liner. And fold this up. And now you're going to tuck in the sides, back to the front, front to the back, square that up, and adhere the bottom of the box. Now, for this bottom of this box, you can take your bone folder, pop it into the box, and then just burnish so that you get a good seal at the bottom of the box. Let's add our little coffee treat. Now let's go this way so that when it's dumped out from the front of the box, we can see what's in there. Close it up. Now on the front of the box, I've got a little kind of shabby chic. I love fresh freesia for this shabby chic look. We're gonna roll up the corners a little bit after we add a subtle floral texture. This piece of fresh freesia is 1 5/8 by 4 3/8. Measurements are on the free printable project sheet at kitchentablestamper.com. The link to this blog post is in the description below. When you get to the blog, the instructions are underneath the embedded video. There's a little button that says today's project sheet. You just click on that button and it will open up a PDF for you. We're going to use the Country Floral, I believe this one is called, embossing folder. It's from the Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. And we're just gonna kind of put that right in the center. I like this big flowery thing right here, and I want to get that a little higher center on my design. You can use whatever embossing folder you have. For our packets, we do not do the embossing for you, so choose any one that you like. It's just too much. We'd have to emboss hundreds and hundreds of pieces based on 3 pieces per packet and the number of packets that we prepare. So we do not do embossing in any of our packets, but you can choose an embossing folder that appeals to you from something that you have, or if you like this floral, you can check out marisaAlvarez.stampinup.net. All right, so we're gonna just roll the corners a little bit, just between your thumb and index finger, just gently. Don't want to make it look sloppy. We just add in some texture, and then we're going to adhere this right on the front of the box. Don't bring your glue all the way to the corners either. That's going to flatten those corners down and get rid of the texture that we're trying to achieve. All right, so here's our adorable little treat. Let me show you some of the things that I cut ahead of time. I've prepared a few things. From basic white, I cut the second smallest of these pierced rectangles from Everyday Details dies. So the smallest one is got a little tiny pierce to it. The next one up has got this eyelet piercing, and that's the one that we used. This is coming in the new spring catalog. You can get that one starting in January. And then my tag is also basic white. This is from the now retired and sold out Sending Cheers dies. The Sending Cheers was on the last chance list. Things are moving pretty quick now from last chance. So if there's things that you want, like this adorable Warmest Hearts bundle, check out the last chance list before too much more time goes by for best selection, okay? So then we've got the Granny Apple Green sprig, and this one I did with the bow punch. We've got a Berry Burst Heart, and this one we did with the Bee Builder punch. So you guys know this one, it's from the annual catalog, one of my favorites. And then this one is also coming in January, this adorable little bee builder. But the wings are perfect hearts for all your little paper embellishments. Let's get some dimensionals here, and we're gonna add several to the back of our eyelet rectangle. And then we're gonna put this right up on our box. Add that just high of center. And then let's slide aside these pieces for just a minute, and let's get some ink and a Stampin' Pierce mat. Got our little tag, some pumpkin pie scrap, and some basic white scrap. We're gonna use this Warmest Heart stamp set and dies. Be sure to use the individual item number 162336 and 162351 if you're looking to order these, because they're 40% off each individual piece. But if you go to your catalog and use the bundle number, you're only going to get 10% off. So be careful with that. And we're going to stamp a Thermos on the pumpkin pie using Early Espresso. And then we're gonna stamp the plaid on the Thermos using pumpkin pie. I love that little detail. Now we're gonna do this window. I don't know, I think it's a sunrise because there's coffee in my Thermos. The little sunrise. And we'll put thanks on the tag. All images are from Warmest Heart. Now let's go ahead and slide these aside so we can bring in our Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. I'm going to let this dry just a little bit longer before I color and die cut it. We're using Early Espresso ink and Stampin' Blends markers, and the alcohol base and the Stampin' Blends markers could dissolve the pigments or pick up the pigments from the Early Espresso ink if we color too soon. So we're going to let that dry for a second. While we let that dry, let's go ahead and die cut our Thermos. I'm going to show you a little trick. All right, so I've got my Thermos. I've got the little die that cuts it out from the die set. I'm going to give it a crank. Now let me put aside the machine for just a minute. We're going to need it back, but I want to show you guys this really cool trick. All right, so here's our Thermos, here's our treat, and you'll notice that we've got a little shorty, right? So the one thing that I did not love about Warmest Heart is that there's a Thermos stamp and there's a Thermos die. So this is with the cap on. The die does with the cap off. We're going to use this one in our next project, you see. But you'll notice that both of these are exactly the same height, which gives you some design challenges, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take this Thermos and we're going to do a little bit of reconstruction on it. I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm going to cut this right below the plaid horizontal line. So just follow that horizontal line, the second one of the plaid. All right, so now your thermos is 2 pieces, right? Let's get some liquid glue. We're gonna add a bit of liquid glue right here on the plaid. And now we're going to reassemble this. We're gonna have a little cutie that's a bit shorter. This reminds me of one that you might bring soup in. Just a little cutie. Line up the early espresso line so that the side meets, and then just slide it till it's perfect. You can hardly even tell. And to further camouflage everything, we're going to add our little embellishment details and our tag. It's going to be just adorable. Now let me show you side by side. Here's our full height thermos and our little shorty. And so it definitely does open up the design elements and the ways that you can use these little Warmest heart thermoses. So nobody will ever know that you did a little surgery, and that will give you some great variation for your card fronts and treats. All right, let's go ahead and bring this guy back and color now. Giving it just a little extra time. We're gonna use pumpkin pie, berry burst, dark granny apple green, and dark lemon lime twist. All right, so I'm gonna do my lemon lime twist layer. And then berry burst, I'm gonna do a little bit of shading, not much. There's such a small little image, it doesn't need a lot. So we'll do light to fill and just a touch of dark right on the edge. And then pumpkin pie for our sunrise. I'm going to color the whole thing, and you'll notice that I am coloring in segments. I don't want to drag over the early espresso lines too much. I don't want to take a chance that they blur. Then we'll color the sun with the dark pumpkin pie and just dab in the segments right at the sun there. And then dab to blend the dark into the light. We've got our sunrise. And now we're going to color the very bottom segment here with dark granny apple green. And we're just dabbing between the trees and below the trees. You don't want to drag the marker over those trees. Just kind of dab around. So cute. Oh my gosh. So colorful and so cute. Let's die cut that real quick. We didn't feature this in the free class packet, but in our Warmest Heart Treats class PDF, we did show this. This little window is an adorable tag, and it fits the Get Well greeting from Warmest Hearts perfectly. So you can get a little extra bonus action from this die. Isn't that pretty? I just love it. All right, so there's also a little night scene that you can put on the thermos too, which is adorable. I've said before, I love how this set combines kind of that vintage thermos look because that plaid detail, but it also takes a very modern twist with all the little labels that you can put on. It's so trendy right now. All the kids are putting the labels all over their thermal flasks, and it's just really, I think, kind of brilliant of Stampin' Up, because you can touch on that vintage feel, or you can make it a little bit more modern. Just smart. All right, we're going to adhere our thermos with some liquid glue. Be careful, you don't want to go all the way out to that handle, because it is going to go past the edge of the label. And next up is our little heart and branch. And you see what I like to do is add a little dimensional to the project. It's holding the branch in place, right? Now we'll bring the little heart and place that where we want it to sit on that dimensional. Now we can go back with another little dimensional. This one's sticky on both sides, and we can lift up this heart and tuck this one right underneath, grabbing both the heart and the branch. So there, we've got that all nice and secure. We're going to get some of this metallic weave ribbon. This is Sweet Sorbet. I know it's hard to believe because it's so pink, but it's just a really beautiful ribbon. I don't use it with Sweet Sorbet, but I am loving it with the Berry Burst and Fresh Freesia. Going to grab one little glue dot here and put it on the edge of my little window, roll it up a little bit, and just hold down that heart. Now our tag. Let's go ahead and thread through on the tag. We're gonna tie a knot here. So over, under, get a knot. I don't always do that, but with this ribbon, because of the metallic fiber in it, it's a little slippery. It wants to come undone if you don't tie that little anchor knot. So tie that, then we'll grab some dimensionals and we're gonna add them underneath the heart. We'll just do one. I think one will be sufficient. And then we'll take a glue dot and we'll add that at the top of the tag where it's gonna go over the heart. The heart's already on dimensionals. Remove the liner, and you'll see I haven't tied the bow. I haven't pulled it off the spool yet. You don't want this little tag flapping around all over the place while you're trying to tie the bow. So before you tie the bow, go ahead and adhere the tag to your project. Then you can turn the project, you can loop, hold down the project while you hold your loop, swoop over the top, tuck the ribbon where you're holding the little space, loop, swoop, tuck, and pull. Now we'll adjust the size, and you have the perfect bow. Ears are up, tails are down. You didn't have to wrestle with that little tag flopping all around while you tried to tie a bow on it. And now let's just trim away from the spool and trim the tails. Last little touch here. We need some sparkle. So I've got these iridescent rhinestone basic gems, and stay tuned. I'm going to show you an alternative for this project because maybe you don't love Warmest hearts, or maybe you're catching this video and it's already sold out. So I want to show you an alternate. I don't want you to write the class packet off and say, oh, that's not for me because I don't like the Warmest heart, because this project is gorgeous no matter what bundle you choose. So let me show you our alternative here. Exactly the same class packet, but what we did for this one was we used the new cow bundle that's coming in the spring. And to even make it more perfect, the Thermos has coffee and the little cow has a milk chocolate toffee Moser Roth candy bar. Isn't that just so perfect? So you can get these at Aldi. So whether you choose to make your project with the Warmest heart bundle, or you get your class packet and hold off until you can get the cutest cows bundle, you're gonna have a fun curated crafting experience as our thank you gift to you for using the host code to place your $50 order this month. If you have any questions about the order, you can reach out, Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com, and to shop 24/7, buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net and click shop. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video where we'll make our adorable notepad cover. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.